Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Anti-News Podcast. I'm your host, Katie Grasso, and thank you for tuning in. Today's date is February 22nd, and as always, I've got 5 happy stories for you. First off, a company starts making flip-flops out of algae, wombats find water in a drought, and a mayor gives his employees a day off. After the break, an incredible win for small farmers, and a pearl worth more than you might expect. Flip-flops, the classic shoe wear of summer. Perfect for keeping cool and keeping sand off your feet. Did you know that they've been around at least as long as ancient Egypt? A design that's so simple you can make it at home. Modern flip-flops are typically made with plastic foam to cushion your feet and a plastic strap that wedges between your toes to keep it from falling off. Depending on the quality and how much you use them, some can last up to 5 years or more. However, many end up being left behind at beaches, which leads to them either clogging up shores or in the ocean. Because of the material, it can take hundreds of years for them to break down. But how do you fix something that's already so basic? In this case, the solution is green, slimy, and something you'd normally wear flip-flops to avoid stepping on. Stephen Mayfield, a director at the California Center for Algae Biotechnology, has founded a company called Algenesis Materials that is making sandals out of algae oil. Mayfield has studied algae for over 35 years, and while some of us shudder just at the thought of touching algae, he's still fascinated by it. For years, researchers all over the globe have worked on turning algae oil into a cheap biofuel. But despite billions of dollars and everyone's best efforts, fossil fuels are still cheaper. Instead of focusing on a problem that's still years in development, Algenesis Materials decided to spend their time and energy working on a different problem, that of flip-flop waste. Algae takes significantly less room than oil to harvest, and a lot less water than crops such as soybeans to grow. Mayfield's team uses small pools to grow their algae, and Algenesis Materials is already working with a shoe retailer to start production in Mexico. Even though the company is currently dealing with not being able to buy enough algae to meet their supply chain, for now they're using non-edible plant oil to fill the gaps. Mayfield hopes that they'll be able to make the flip-flops available in summer of 2022. And while I'm not much of a beachgoer myself, I might just flip out if I see these in store. Here's hoping they won't be a flop. The power of the consumer is something we often take for granted, but is more powerful than we give it credit for. If we want more sustainable products like these algae sandals, then we need to show companies that that's what we want using our money. When you can, buy products that are locally grown or are sustainably produced. It's easy to just buy whatever's readily available, but putting in a bit more effort with choosing what you spend your cash on can make a big difference. Water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. For a country in the middle of a drought, it sure can feel that way. Whether because of climate change, supply and demand, or simply bad luck, drought can cause a lot of issues, the most obvious being the lack of water to go around. One of the big differences between humans and animals, and one of our biggest advantages, is our ability to cooperate with other species. Seeing that in the animal kingdom, while not unheard of or even that rare, it's usually only between 2 or 3 animals, such as how flowers provide bees with nectar for food, and in return, bees pollinate flowers. One animal's actions benefiting more than 1 or 2 others directly is rare, but that's exactly what's happened here. In New Zealand, a severe drought has been going on since last year, causing some areas to dry up completely and turn brown. While thunderstorms in early May of last year helped, they weren't enough to get the country out of their situation. Both humans and animals alike have been struggling, but recently, wombats have been helping dozens of species find shelter and water thanks to their burrowing habits. In Hunter Valley, wombats have been digging near a farm in an attempt to find water underground and have succeeded in their task over the course of 3 years, uncovering a hidden water source. Everything from wallabies, kangaroos, wallaroos, which are basically small kangaroos or large wallabies, possums, echidnas, goannas, a type of lizard, and even emus have been seen coming and going to the wombat soak, as the farmer who found it, Ted Finney, has called it. The wombat soak has been helping animals that visit it survive during the drought, and who knows how many others. Water is important for almost all life on Earth, and when there isn't enough of it to go around, we've all got to do the best we can to preserve it. Small things you can do to help conserve water are turning off the tap when you're brushing your teeth, fixing any leaky faucets or pipes, and waiting to do laundry until you've got a full load. Just one person doing things like this won't make much of a difference, but everyone doing so will. Valentine's Day. Or, if you're like many singles out there, including myself, Singles Awareness Day. According to a survey, around 11 million people in the Philippines are single, about 7 million guys and 4 million gals. It can be hard to balance a love life with a busy career, especially with how many people burn themselves out from working too hard. You can't find love while you're working, and on your days off, all you want to do is try and recover from the work week, which is why it's so nice to get a little extra time off to find that special someone. The mayor of General Luna, Quezon City, Matt Erwin Florido, gave his employees the option to take a day off so that they'd have more time to find someone for Valentine's Day. He posted a message on Facebook addressed to all of the local government units' single employees that he was giving them February 12th off. And when he realized that that was the Chinese New Year, he added that they could choose to take the 11th off as well. He jokingly wrote that this was so they would have time to find their forever, referring to someone to spend forever with, presumably. It's nice to see a politician who seems to genuinely care about his employees, as the initial idea behind this was to reward his employees for their hard work. Whether you're a romantic or not, it's good to have relationships with others of one kind or another. A partner, a friend, a family member, whoever you're close to, make sure you let them know that they're loved and that you care for them. It's easy to forget to say it, even if you know that you appreciate them and they appreciate you. Sometimes it's just reassuring to hear the words, "I love you," or "I'm glad you're here" once in a while. As for me, well, now it's time for me to say that it's time for a music break. That was Longing by Joakim Karud. Now, onto the last two stories. In legal battles, the more money you have, the easier it is to win. That's sadly the way things are, which means that more often than not, large corporations easily win against the average person. Unfortunately, that means that whether they're right or wrong, big companies have an easier time getting away with things. Sometimes, though, the little guy wins. And that's exactly what's happened here. Big oil taking a hit from small-time farmers sounds almost too unrealistic to be true, but it is, and Shell Oil is the one taking the hit. It may have taken 13 years, but 4 Nigerian farmers have won in a landslide legal battle against Shell Oil after an oil spill contaminated their farmlands. Shell Nigeria claimed that the oil spill was not their fault, but that of sabotage. Nigerian law requires evidence that proves beyond a reasonable doubt for claims of sabotage, but the company was unable to provide any. The court determined that Royal Dutch Shell, Shell Nigeria's parent company, will be held responsible not only for compensating the farmers, but also for cleaning up the oil safely as well. This battle went all the way from the Niger Delta in Nigeria, all the way up to the Hague Court of Appeal in the Netherlands. Friends of Earth Netherlands, a grassroots organization, helped the farmers with their battle and helped raise awareness not only for this case, but for other victims of oil spills as well. This is fantastic news for the environment and people living in developing countries, said Friends of Earth's Netherlands head, Donald Pols. It means people in developing countries can take on the multinationals who do them harm. The court also found that Shell Nigeria's leak detection system was non-existent, meaning that if any of their pipelines or wells were to start leaking, that it would soak into the soil, which can cause a host of problems from liver damage to decreased immunity. The company now has to install state-of-the-art systems or pay a $121,000 fine per day. On top of that, Shell Nigeria's cleanup was deemed insufficient, and the court has also ordered them to do a much more thorough cleanup of both the water and farmlands. The story of David and Goliath, that of a regular man versus a giant, is often told as a way to remind people that no matter how impossible the odds may seem, there's a way to overcome them and succeed. This is another such case, where despite seemingly impossible odds and 13 years, David, in this case the farmers, have overcome Goliath, Shell Oil. Who or whatever your Goliath is, never forget that if you just keep persevering, you will succeed, no matter how long it takes. It's said that dreams can give us visions of the future. According to legend, the Roman Emperor Constantine drew the Christian cross on his soldiers' shields because of a dream he'd had saying that if he did so, he'd win the battle. Other leaders throughout history have said that they had dreams which gave them insight on problems that they were having. And scientists say that dreams are our brain's way of working on problems while we're sleeping. Whatever you believe, that dreams are prophecy or problem solving, what happened to this Thai fisherman is nothing short of a dream come true. Hachai Neodeka, a struggling fisherman, had a dream in which an old man dressed in white with a long mustache told him to go to the beach so that he could receive a gift. Days later, Hachai and his family were picking up oyster shells on the beach, when he noticed 3 particularly beautiful shells sticking on a discarded buoy ball. With the help of his brother, the fisherman picked the shells and brought them home to clean them. The first 2 shells had nothing special inside them, but in the 3rd shell, there was something spectacular. An orange pearl about the size of a quarter. This was no normal pearl either, but a mellow pearl. Mellow pearls are made by mellow snails and are orange, tan, or brown, with orange being the most sought after. Another thing that drives up their price is the fact that, unlike clam or oyster pearls, mellow pearls can't be farmed. meaning that any pearls on the market are naturally made, and this scarcity drives the price up through the roof. A mellow pearl of this color, shape, and weight, nearly 8 grams, can be worth up to 10 million baht, which is about 425,228 in Canadian dollars. Hatchai and his family have gotten offers for 1 million baht and 5 million baht, but are insistent on getting the max value for the pearl. A Chinese businessman has offered them that price and is flying out to Thailand to see the pearl for himself before the deal is sealed. For a family living in poverty, this must be beyond their wildest dreams. Hatchai says he believes that the man he saw in his dream is a deity that wants to help him get out of poverty. While the existence of any sort of deity is a debate for another day, I believe that this dream falls firmly into the category of prophecy. But whether that's the case or not, our dreams can tell us a lot about ourselves. Try looking at your own dreams sometime and see what you can make of it. Aside from that one where you're in your underwear, hopefully all your dreams come true. Here's today's advice. Make sure to treat service workers with respect. While that should be common sense, many people still treat those working in the service industry poorly. Remember that those cashiers, waiters, and salespeople are just trying to do their job like anyone else, and deserve to be treated equally. How would you like it if someone were to start yelling at you while you were at work? Remember that under that uniform, there's still a person with their own thoughts, feelings, and lives. That's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I also hope you all had a good Valentine's Day, and I hope that the rest of your month is just as happy, if not happier. If you would like to support this podcast, you can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Google and Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spreaker. Links can be found in the description, and until next time, remember that there is still some good in the world, you just gotta look for it. Take care out there, everyone.